The enduring allure of women over 60. 8 traits of deep attraction. Are you aware that genuine, profound attraction has almost nothing to do with the presence of wrinkles, with the color of your hair, or with the number of candles adorning your birthday cake, and absolutely everything to do with the way you carry yourself through the world? I am Dr. Lily Stones, a gynecologist with more than 3 decades of dedicated experience caring for women through every single stage of their lives. And please, allow me to tell you something. I have personally witnessed women in their 60s, 70s, and even their 80s walk into a room and instantly and effortlessly draw everyone's attention, not because they appeared to be younger than their years, but because they radiated something much, much deeper. I want you to think about it for a moment. Have you ever met someone who just seemed to be utterly magnetic? Perhaps it was not their particular outfit or their hairstyle that captivated you, but rather a certain kind of glow, a quiet inner presence that made you want to listen more intently, to lean in a little closer, and to stay in their company for just a little while longer. That particular kind of glow does not come from a jar of cream or from any kind of a cosmetic procedure. It comes from a set of unique qualities that are cultivated and refined through a lifetime of experience, qualities that actually have the potential to grow stronger as we age. Today, I want to uncover with you the 8 proven signs that can show you that you are, in fact, a highly attractive older woman. And no, I am not at all talking about what our society usually points to as being the hallmarks of beauty, things like youthful skin, long legs, or the possession of a perfect figure. I am talking about the deeper, more lasting, and more resonant traits that are the very things that can make you truly unforgettable. These are traits such as confidence, resilience, emotional intelligence, and a profound sense of authenticity. One of my dear patients, Barbara, who had just recently turned 67, once shared with me, Dr. Stones, I used to firmly believe that my most attractive years were far behind me. But now, people will actually tell me that I seem to be more radiant and more grounded than I ever have been before. And she is absolutely right. The quality of attraction does not simply fade away with the passage of age, it evolves. The profound truth of the matter is that with a state of maturity, the quality of beauty is able to transform into something that is far more captivating and far more compelling. It is able to become the very ability to be able to comfort other people with just your mere presence, to be able to lead without any sense of effort, and to be able to bring a sense of profound calmness into the midst of the most chaotic of moments. And here is the most exciting part of all of this. You may very well already be living and embodying many of these very same signs without even realizing it. Have you ever noticed that other people seem to be able to relax and to feel more at ease the moment that you walk into a room? Do younger women often come to you to ask for your advice, even when you have not at all offered it to them? Do other people tend to adjust their own tone of voice, to slow down their own pace, or to listen much more carefully whenever you begin to speak? And please know that these are not at all just mere coincidences. They are, in fact, the subtle yet incredibly powerful signals of the profound inner strength that you now carry with you. So please stay with me because we are going to be walking through each and every one of these 8 powerful signs together. And I can promise you that the very last one, the 8th sign, is the one that is most often overlooked, but it is also the most powerful one of them all. And once you are able to recognize it within yourself, you will never again have to doubt your own innate attractiveness. This is not just another simple list. I would like for you to please try to think of it as being like a beautiful and an honest mirror, one that is able to reflect back to you the real and the true depth of your own personal beauty. As we begin to go through all of these different signs together, you may find yourself beginning to nod your head in agreement, to smile to yourself, or to even whisper, "That's me." Or you may even be able to discover some brand new traits that you are just now beginning to grow into. And either way, you will be sure to leave our conversation today with a much clearer and a much more profound sense of just how incredibly magnetic you truly are. And before we dive in, please allow me to ask you, when was the very last time that you actually and truly felt attractive? Was it many, many years ago, or do you still feel it every single time that you step out of your own front door? Please share your answer with me in the comments section below. I would be so honored to be able to hear your own personal story. Now let's go ahead and begin with the very first sign, and in my own personal opinion, the most powerful one of them all, the quality of confidence. The very first and most telling sign of a truly attractive older woman is the quality of her confidence. And let's be perfectly and absolutely clear here. The quality of confidence does not at all mean that you have to be the very loudest voice in the room, nor does it mean that you have a constant and a pressing need for a great deal of attention. It is in fact something that is much quieter and much, much deeper. It is the very way that you are able to hold yourself. It is the way that you are able to enter a room without any sense of rushing, and it is the way that you are able to speak with a profound sense of calm and of quiet assurance. I can still so vividly remember one of my dear patients, Eileen, who had first come to see me at the age of 72. She had said to me, "Doctor, I just do not feel at all beautiful anymore. My hair is so much thinner now, my waistline has completely changed, and I do not at all recognize the woman that I see in the mirror." And yet, as I had then watched her begin to interact with all of the nurses in my office, I had begun to notice something that was truly and utterly remarkable about her. She was able to make every single one of them laugh. She was able to look people directly in the eye, and when she had spoken, every single person had stopped what they were doing in order to be able to listen to her. And that is the very essence of true confidence. It was not at all about her trying to look 20 years of age once again. It was all about her being able to completely and utterly own her own personal story. The second powerful sign is the quality of an emotional intelligence. And this particular one, my dear friends, is a very rare and a very precious quality to be able to find at any age. The quality of an emotional intelligence is the innate and the profound ability to be able to understand not only your own personal emotions, but also the very same emotions of other people as well. And over the course of many, many years, the experience of life is able to teach us a great deal of patience, of empathy, and of awareness, in a way that no single textbook ever possibly could. Allow me to share with you a very clear and a very poignant example. A wonderful woman by the name of Margaret, who was 65 years of age, had once told me that during her own granddaughter's teenage years, there had been a great many moments of some very palpable tension in their own home. And instead of her having to react to all of this with a sense of frustration, Margaret had simply chosen to listen, and she had really and truly listened to all of her granddaughter's many different worries. She had not at all rushed in to try to fix them, and she had not at all tried to minimize them in any way. She had simply been able to create a very safe and a very nurturing space for her granddaughter to be able to express herself. And that one single and simple act had then been able to completely and utterly transform their entire relationship. The National Institutes of Health has been able to show through some recent research that older adults will often be able to score much higher in the areas of their emotional regulation and of their sense of empathy when they are compared to all of the younger age groups. And that simply means that as we all begin to age, we are then able to become so much better equipped to be able to handle any kind of a conflict, to be able to soothe instead of to escalate, and to be able to comfort instead of to criticize. And please allow me to tell you that particular kind of an emotional awareness is profoundly and undeniably attractive, and people will always and naturally be drawn to someone who is able to make them feel safe, who is able to make them feel seen, and who is able to make them feel understood. The third powerful sign is the quality of an independence, and this particular one is able to shine like a beautiful and a brilliant beacon. The quality of an independence simply means that you do not at all have to rely on a constant and a pressing need for any kind of an external validation. It simply means that you do not at all have to measure your own personal sense of worth by whether or not someone else is able to approve of you. It simply means that you have your own personal interests, you have your own personal passions, and you are not at all afraid to be able to pursue them. One of my very dear friends, Clara, had been able to completely and utterly reinvent herself at the age of 68. And after her own beloved husband had passed away, she had decided to join a local hiking group. She had decided to start painting, and she had even decided to travel all by herself to Italy. And while a great many people had been able to admire her incredible courage, what had really and truly been able to make her so very, very magnetic was the profound and the beautiful sense of joy that she had been able to carry within herself. She was not at all waiting for someone else to be able to make her happy. She had in fact chosen her own happiness on her very own terms. And here is the profound truth of the matter. The quality of an independence does not at all have to mean a state of an isolation. It simply means that you are now with other people because you are choosing to be with them, and not at all because you are needing to be with them. And that very same choice is able to give to you a great deal of personal power. And that very same personal power, especially when it is a gentle and a self-assured one, is absolutely and completely unforgettable. I would now like to be able to pause here for just a moment to ask you, do you happen to recognize any of these first three powerful signs in yourself? The qualities of confidence, of an emotional intelligence, and of an independence. Perhaps you have been able to live them for many, many years, or perhaps you are just now beginning to step into them. And either way, they are the living and the breathing proof that your own personal attractiveness is not at all fading away. It is in fact just simply and beautifully evolving. But we are only just getting started. And in the very next part of our discussion, I am going to be sharing with you three more powerful signs that will often be able to surprise a great many women, simply because they are not at all about their own external appearances. They are in fact all about how you are able to carry your own personal history, your own personal wisdom, and even your own personal wrinkles. And please trust me, these very same qualities will be able to completely and utterly change the very way that you are able to see yourself in the mirror. The fourth powerful sign of a highly attractive older woman is the quality of a graceful form of aging. Now I do in fact know that that very same word, aging, can often be able to stir up a great many different and complicated feelings for all of us. And for many, many decades, our own society has been constantly bombarding us with the very powerful and the very pervasive message that the process of aging is something that we should be fighting against, and that it is something that we should be fearing. But what if I were to tell you that all of your own personal lines, that all of your own beautiful silver hair, and even the very way that your own body has been able to change over the years, are not at all any kind of personal flaws? They are in fact all a part of your own unique and your own beautiful signature. I once had the profound privilege of being able to care for a wonderful patient by the name of Lillian, and at the age of 74 she had walked into my office with some very soft and with some very beautiful silver curls, and with a very warm and a very beautiful smile that had been able to fill the entire room. She had said to me, "Stones, I do not at all look like the very same person that I was at the age of 30. But I would not at all be willing to trade who I am today for anything in the entire world." And she had truly and completely meant it. You could be able to feel her incredible elegance, and you could be able to feel her incredible poise. And other people were not at all drawn to her because she had looked young. They were in fact drawn to her because she had been able to carry her own personal years with a profound and with a beautiful sense of dignity. According to the esteemed Cleveland Clinic, women who are able to fully and completely embrace all of the many natural stages of their own lives will often be able to report a much higher level of their own personal self-esteem and much lower levels of their own personal anxiety. And the act of a graceful form of aging is not at all about the act of giving up on your own personal beauty. It is in fact all about the profound and the beautiful process of redefining it. It is all about the act of dressing with a sense of care, of walking with a sense of poise, and of holding your own head up very high even when the entire world is telling you to be able to shrink. And when you are finally able to fully and completely accept your own personal story, you will then be able to radiate something that is so much more powerful than any single wrinkle cream could ever possibly be able to deliver to you. The fifth powerful sign is the quality of wisdom, when it is paired with the quality of an authenticity. And these two very powerful qualities will always go hand in hand with one another. And over the course of many, many years, the experience of life has been able to test you through the experiences of both love and of loss, and through the experiences of both triumphs and of disappointment. And each and every single one of those very personal and very profound experiences has been able to carve a deep and a beautiful sense of wisdom into your own personal spirit. And that very same wisdom is able to become incredibly and undeniably magnetic when it is paired with the quality of an authenticity. And please allow me to explain. In a world where so very many people will so often put on a variety of different masks, will so often pretend to be someone that they are not, or will so often be chasing after a sense of an external approval, the quality of an authenticity is able to stand out like a beautiful and a brilliant light in the dark. A woman who has been able to live a very full and a very rich life will not at all feel the need to have to fake it. She will be able to speak her own truth, she will be able to honor her own personal values, and she will be able to show up as her own true and her own authentic self, completely and utterly unapologetically. I can still so vividly remember a patient of mine by the name of Joan. who had been able to survive both the experience of breast cancer and the experience of the profound loss of her own partner. And when she had then spoken to a local support group, she had not at all tried to sugarcoat her own personal pain, but she had also not at all allowed it to be able to define her. She was raw, she was real, and she was incredibly resilient. And do you know what had then happened? Every single person in that room had leaned in a little bit closer to her. They had all been able to trust her, simply because the quality of an authenticity is so very, very refreshing in a world that is so often filled with a great deal of performance. And the very same wisdom that she had been able to earn through her many, many years of living had been able to make her own personal presence completely and utterly unforgettable. The sixth powerful sign is the quality of a patience and of an understanding. And while these particular qualities may at first sound to be quite quiet and to be almost invisible, they are in fact able to carry with them a tremendous and a profound amount of power. I would like for you to please try to think back to the very last time that someone had truly and completely listened to you, not at all rushing you and not at all interrupting you, but just simply and purely listening to you. Did it not at all feel like a precious and a beautiful gift to you? And that is the very same kind of a gift that a patient and a mature woman is able to give to all of those who are around her. One of my very own patients, Carmen, who was 69 years of age, had once told me that her own grandchildren will always be able to confide in her first, even before they are able to confide in their own parents. And why is that? It is simply because she is able to listen to them without any sense of judgment. She is able to give to them the very same space that they need in order to be able to express themselves in a full and in a complete way. Her incredible patience is able to create a beautiful and a safe refuge for them, a safe and a peaceful harbor in all of the many different storms of their own lives. And this is not just an anecdotal observation on my part. A number of different studies that have been conducted by the National Institutes of Health, NEH, have been able to clearly show that older adults who are able to practice a sense of empathy and of patience will actually be able to foster a much stronger and a much healthier set of relationships across all of the many different generations. And that very same ability to be able to create a sense of comfort, to be able to calm a sense of conflict, and to be able to bring a sense of peace, rather than a sense of drama, is not just attractive. It is in fact deeply and profoundly healing for every single person who is around you. So please allow me to ask you, which of these particular qualities resonates the very most with you? Is it the quality of a graceful form of aging? Is it the quality of a wisdom and of an authenticity? Or is it the quality of a patience and of an understanding? Do you already feel them as they are beginning to blossom in your own life? Please be sure to drop your own personal thoughts in the comments section below. I would be so honored to be able to, and please be sure to stay with me, because in the very next part of our discussion, we will be talking about the very last two powerful signs, the qualities of a resilience and of a positive energy. And these two very powerful qualities are perhaps the most inspiring of them all, simply because they are able to show just how your own personal life story, all of the many different storms that you have been able to survive, and all of the many different joys that you now choose to be able to share with the world, are able to become the ultimate and the most profound source of your own lasting and of your own beautiful beauty. The seventh powerful sign of a truly attractive older woman is the quality of a resilient. And if you have been able to live for 6, for 7, or for even 8 full decades, then you have most certainly been tested. You have been able to face a great many different storms that could have very easily been able to break you: illnesses, losses, disappointments, and betrayals. And yet here you are today, still standing, and perhaps even so much stronger than you were before. I can still so vividly think of my dear patient Denise, who had first come to see me when she was in her mid-60s, right after she had lost her own beloved husband. She had confessed to me that she had felt completely and utterly broken, that she had felt completely and utterly invisible, and that she had felt as though a full half of her was now missing. But slowly and surely she had then begun to rebuild her own life. She had decided to join a local community choir. She had decided to start volunteering at a local women's shelter, and she had even decided to take a local painting class that she had always dreamed of being able to take. And today, at the age of 71, she had said to me, "Doctor, I had never at all thought that I could ever be able to smile again, but my own smile now feels so much more real to me than it ever did before." And that is the very essence of a true and of a profound sense of resilience. It is not at all the absence of any kind of a pain, but it is in fact the profound and the beautiful courage to be able to keep on going in spite of it. And do you know what is so incredibly and so undeniably magnetic about the quality of a resilience? It is the fact that other people are able to sense it from you. it is able to show up in the very way that you are able to comfort other people, simply because you have been there too. It is in your own steady and in your own calm voice when other people are beginning to panic. And it is in your own innate and your own profound ability to be able to say, I have been able to walk through the very fire itself and I am still here. And that particular kind of a strength is able to draw a great deal of admiration and of respect from other people in a way that any kind of a surface level form of beauty never possibly could. The eighth and final powerful sign is the quality of a positive energy. Now please do not at all mistake this for any kind of a forced form of cheerfulness or for any kind of a pretense that everything in your life is perfect. A true and a profound sense of a positive energy is in fact a choice. It is the conscious and the deliberate decision to be able to focus on a sense of gratitude, on a sense of joy, and on all of the many different things that you are able to control, instead of being completely and utterly consumed by a sense of bitterness or of regret. I can still so vividly remember the time that I had walked into one of my own examination rooms, feeling so very tired after a very long and a very difficult day. My dear patient, Elena, had been waiting for me in that room, and she was 78 years of age at the time, and she had had every single reason in the entire world to be able to complain. She had had a great deal of arthritis, she had had a very limited sense of her own mobility, and she had had to deal with all of the many different daily challenges of the process of aging. And yet the very first thing that she had said to me was, Dr. Stones, you look as though you are in need of a smile, so here, please allow me to give you one of mine. And she had then done just that. Her incredible warmth had been able to completely and utterly shift the entire atmosphere in that room. And by the time that she had left my office that day, not only was she feeling so much lighter, but so too was every single other person that she had been able to encounter on that very same day. A positive energy is incredibly and undeniably contagious. It is able to change the very energy in a room. It is able to make other people feel so much lighter, so much calmer, and so much happier just by simply being near you. And here is what is so very beautiful about all of this. It does not at all come from the act of trying to be young once again. It comes in fact from the profound and the beautiful process of being able to accept yourself in a full and in a complete way, of being able to embrace your own personal year, and of being able to consciously and to deliberately choose a sense of joy for yourself. I would like for you to please try to imagine for just a moment two different and distinct fountains in a beautiful and a serene garden. One of those fountains is just barely able to flicker with a very weak and a very intermittent flow of water, but the other one is able to flow in a very steady and in a very warm way, and it is able to cast a beautiful and a shimmering light all around it. And people will always and naturally be drawn to gather near the brighter and the more vibrant of those two fountains, not at all because it is any bigger or any newer, but simply because it is able to give to them a sense of warmth and of profound comfort. And that is exactly what your own personal and positive energy is able to do. It is able to make other people want to be near you. So please allow me to ask you this. Have you ever been able to notice just how other people are able to feel right after they have been around you? Do they be able to leave your own personal presence feeling so much more relaxed, so much more hopeful, or so much more at peace? And if so, then that is one of the very strongest and one of the very most powerful signs of the profound attraction that you are now able to carry with you. You may not at all even be able to realize the profound and the beautiful impact that you are able to have on other people, but I can assure you that they most certainly do. Now, as we have been able to uncover all 8 of these very powerful and very beautiful signs, the qualities of a confidence, of an emotional intelligence, of an independence, of a graceful form of aging, of a wisdom and of an authenticity, of a patience and of an understanding, of a resilience, of a positive energy. And in the very final part of our discussion today, I am going to be recapping all of these very powerful and very beautiful qualities, and I am also going to be showing you exactly why they are all able to prove that the process of aging is not at all the end of your own personal attraction. It is in fact the very same reason that you are now able to become so much more magnetic than you were before. All of these very powerful and very beautiful signs are not at all tied to your own personal youth, to your own personal makeup, or to your own personal dress size. They are in fact all the precious and the beautiful treasures of a state of maturity. They are all the living and the breathing evidence that a true and a profound sense of beauty does not at all fade away with the passage of time. It simply and beautifully deepens. Every single one of your own personal wrinkles is a beautiful and a profound story. Every single one of your own beautiful gray hairs is a beautiful and a profound badge of your own personal survival. And every single one of the many different challenges that you have ever been able to overcome has been able to carve a much deeper and a much more profound sense of strength into your own personal spirit. So here is my personal question for you. Which of these 8 powerful and beautiful signs are you able to recognize in yourself right here and right now? Is it the quality of a confidence? Is it the quality of a resilience? Or is it the quality of a positive energy? Please be sure to share it with me in the comments section below. I would be so honored to be able to celebrate with you, and if you should feel that you are still in the process of growing into some of them, then that is a very wonderful and a very beautiful thing too. The process of growth does not at all have to stop at the age of 40 or of 50, it is in fact able to continue on for an entire lifetime. If this particular video has been able to resonate with you in any way, I would be so very grateful if you would please give it a like, if you would please share it with a friend who may be in need of this very same reminder, and if you would please subscribe to be able to join our wonderful elder care wellness community. And together we are all going to be rewriting the very same story of the process of aging, not at all as a process of a decline, but as a profound and as a beautiful process of a transformation into something that is so much more powerful than it was before. I'm Dr. Lily Stones, and I thank you for your time. And before we close, let me remind you this video is for educational purposes only. It does not replace medical advice. Every woman's body is unique. If you are experiencing pain, significant changes, or have personal concerns, please consult with your healthcare provider. Your well-being deserves personalized care. Thank you so very much for having spent this valuable time with me today. And please be sure to remember, you are not at all just aging. You are in fact evolving into a much deeper and a much more profound kind of a beauty, and the entire world is so very, very lucky to be able to witness it.